Today on Ultima Gaming, grab your shovels and nets as we get away in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Then we rip and tear a new one in Doom Eternal. And finally, E3 we hardly knew ye. It's game time.
Greetings and welcome to Ultima Gaming. The coronavirus hasn't killed us, but my lack of a will to live just might. On today's show, we're talking about two very important games coming out on the same day that feature entirely separate audiences, and yet they've managed to come together in peaceful harmony. That's right, one game for the rough and tough crowd, those who want to see if they can truly survive in a hellscape. That's right, Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. And on the other hand, a more lighthearted game. A game that features frolicking without a care, blasting away as you happily please. Doom Eternal is coming both on the same day, and oddly enough, rather than fight it out online and compete, my game is better than your game, the two have come and worked together, and it's quite a strange and beautiful thing that I don't quite understand. In addition to those two games, we're also going to be talking about E3's possible digital future, as the event has now been canceled again thanks to the coronavirus. I say canceled again, I don't know why I said again, but you know, things have been going rough for E3, so you know, it's just always an onslaught of bad news. I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway, let's get things started right off the bat with a review of Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch.
Let's face it, we're all dying to get out of our homes, but we simply can't. A simple solution? Move to a virtual deserted island with some talking animals and build yourself a nice little town. Welcome to Animal Crossing New Horizons, or, as I like to call it, the savior of quarantine. Animal Crossing's beauty has always been in its simplicity. This isn't the game you pick up to beat down some bad guys or get wrapped up in a deep, thrilling saga. Instead, Animal Crossing continues to do what it does best, provide simple tasks, easygoing conversations, and an overall relaxing and peaceful environment. You know, aside from the whole loan payments. That just hits too close to home. This time around, you aren't playing the role of a mayor, but just one of several customers of Tom Nook's new getaway package to a deserted island, where the goal is to build and grow a community from total scratch, as Tom places you in charge of finding new villagers to join your island, as well as being in charge of the overall layout and design of the island. What exactly does Tom Nook do again? As you grow your island into a thriving little community, you'll be paying Tom Nook back for his services with the in-game currency of bells, which is earned through various chores and tasks, such as finding rare bugs or fish and selling them back to the local shop. You'll also have the opportunity to either visit a friend's island or vice versa via Switch multiplayer, both locally and online. This will allow you to run around together, fishing and catching bugs, interacting with new villagers and friends, but currently won't let you make any sort of cosmetic changes to your island during multiplayer gameplay. The coolest part of Animal Crossing New Horizons has to be the ability to scan and create your own custom images into the game and use them in various and unique ways. Company logos, memes, random video game characters can all be brought into the game using the Nintendo Switch Online app on your mobile device and scanning in whatever image you'd like. It's a bit of a strange process, using your in-game phone to communicate with your actual phone back to your in-game phone, but once you figure it out, the possibilities are endless for creation, which is what makes New Horizons so much fun. The only downside to the game is the constant breaking of tools, without any sort of a durability indicator or meter to see how much longer they'll last, in addition to not being able to craft things in bulk. Having to do each item one by one can become a bit tedious depending on how many things you're trying to make. Those minor gripes aside, Animal Crossing New Horizons is a fantastic game and perhaps the greatest entry in the Animal Crossing series. With the current state of affairs in the world, it seems like the timing of this release couldn't have been any better, and we're all the more grateful to have it help keep us sane. A 5 out of 5.
And that's really the beauty of Animal Crossing, knowing that while the outside world burns away with fears of viruses, illness, and death, and debt, Animal Crossing, you can just enjoy life on your happy little island. That's the beauty of it. Except for, paying debt back to a raccoon, but unlike the IRS, he's not going to nag you about, interest and wondering why you haven't paid your taxes in 10 years. Anyway, more importantly, the other game on our list today is Doom Eternal. Completely opposite from Animal Crossing and still an incredible experience all the same, coming out on the same day. Really, it's one or the other. Why not? You can have both. You can really have both, and it's an amazing, wonderful experience. So here is our review of the opposite end of the spectrum, Doom Eternal.
It's no secret that the Doom reboot of 2016 was a triumphant return to glory for the series, being an incredible experience all around that left fans of the series clamoring for more. Enter Doom Eternal, the beautiful sequel that has you ripping and tearing just as much, but this time offers some minor alterations to the gameplay that cause a very different feel. This time around, you don't simply just blast away and hope for the best. As fun as that is, it's not the smartest way to play, which Doom Eternal will gladly punish you for. In Doom Eternal, you have to be wise with your demon executions, carefully balancing how you handle your foes. Doom 2016 rewarded players when executing a glory kill, which involved close melee, by giving the player health and ammo in return for pulling these moves off. Doom Eternal, on the other hand, restricts your rewards based on how you handle enemies. Staggering an enemy and going in for the glory kill will reward the player with health. Heat things up with a flamethrower and you'll be rewarded with some armor pickups. And finally, if you pick up that chainsaw and slice your foes in half, you'll be rewarded with some much needed ammunition. Because of this new approach, it changes how you play the game drastically, which in some ways takes the fun away of not being able to mindlessly blast away, but offers a new and rewarding challenge all the same. Truthfully, it can be a bit overwhelming at first, but as you get the hang of it, you'll feel all the more accomplished and quickly devise new ways of handling the demon spawn. In addition to the new reward style, the best addition is the improved mobility, as you run and jump around quickly in large arenas as you face multiple enemies at once. The overall design of the arenas is solid, as they feel like the perfect playground to run around and cause havoc. While the battles in large arenas are fun to traverse and figure out, the platforming on the other hand isn't quite as enjoyable. There seems to be a bigger focus on the platforming here than in Doom 2016, and that's not exactly for the best. There are moments of frustration as you'll struggle to clear a large gap or hit the right spot as you climb around. It feels a bit unnecessary at times, and while it's meant to break up the action, it sometimes comes across as a chore rather than a fun side activity. The campaign for Doom Eternal should only take you roughly 15 to 20 hours, and oddly, it feels more serious than Doom 2016. The story gets more intimate with certain characters, and the humor isn't as present this time around. But honestly, the plot has never been the forefront of the series anyway, and if you get lost, it doesn't take any sort of real enjoyment away from the game. Doom Eternal also offers a multiplayer mode featuring a standard deathmatch mode where one player takes on the role of the Slayer, while the others will team up as demons to take them down. It's a nice addition to the game, but isn't anything really groundbreaking or revolutionary. Nevertheless, it still allows for a good time among friends, and that can never be faulted. With fresh combat mechanics mixed with fun level design and chaotic demons to slay, Doom Eternal offers a stunning rip and tear experience that fans of the series have come to know and love. While its new mechanics can come across as overwhelming at times, it doesn't take away from the fact that slaying demons will now and forever be one hell of a good time. A 4 out of 5.
Games like Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing always cause huge excitement within the gaming community, but the reality is nothing ever caused quite as much as excitement as E3. The problem is now, the event is no more, at least for this year. Because of the coronavirus, this year's event was canceled, which is a shame because this was the year to have an E3. Obviously, in recent years, having the public come in as the gamer badges and things of that nature, with companies showcasing their games more online in the forms of Nintendo Directs and the Sony State of Plays, the industry is shifting and E3 is slowly being seen as irrelevant. And having a year canceled is bad enough, but the reality is this would have been the year to have E3 because we're moving to the next generation. This is the year where the biggest announcements are going to be made for probably the next decade. The new Xbox, the new PlayStation would have all been shown off at E3. This could have been a phenomenal year for the company, for the Expo rather, and this year we're not going to have one, which really kind of leaves the industry in a weird state because I'm sure these companies have spent months planning events, trying to figure out what they were going to do for E3. They had a budget, I'm sure, and all these cool ideas and events planned, and now none of that matters because there's no event. We're already starting to see some companies like Xbox and even Square Enix come forward and say that they're going to be doing digital events at this time, which is really, it's going to be a cool thing to see because we're starting to see now the Nintendo Direct formula put into every company, which is a cool thing, but what's really going to happen at the end is going to determine E3's fate. Because if it's a smooth process, if it's a nice transition, and everyone's happy with it, they're going to realize how much money they've saved in the long run, and E3 will probably not attract anybody in the future. At which point, E3 will probably be no more. But there's another side to this as well, and that's the fact of indie studios losing out on big opportunities to showcase their games. While E3 was great for the AAA developers, the big three, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, even Ubisoft, Sega, companies like that, indie developers also had a huge role at E3. A lot of these big companies would use their platforms to show off indie developers, and indie developers themselves would often get booths and attend events to help showcase their new games. That will also be gone now, and these indie developers are really hurting and worried they're not going to have a place to show off their games, and a lot of that traffic, a lot of that marketing is now going to be diminished as a result. So it really leaves the question of, do we need E3? Which I think we do, personally. I think the gaming industry needs a sort of gathering point. It's really just a fun time if you've never been. I highly encourage you to try to go next year, assuming they have it. But I think it's really just a cool event all around. So that's my 2 cents on E3 and the no E3 future that we could possibly be entering here. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this coronavirus-filled episode of Ultima Gaming. I'm the only one here. Turns out when you're quarantined, no one wants to be your friend. No one wants to be around you, and it makes me sad. Don't catch corona, kids. Wash your hands. Be safe. I want to thank you all for watching Ultima Gaming. Wash your hands, and don't forget to subscribe. Check us out over at patreon.com/VGX7. And hey, share it with your friends. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye.